Sabotage, them try sabotage. I no be your puppy, don't give me card. Agenda, everyday agenda. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy MORDIN, and I'm back again with another news right here for you. Let's get into it. Straight up, we are talking about the sabotage. Now, who is being sabotaged, and why are some people supposedly trying to sabotage Stonebwoy's show in London? I've been quiet. I've been trying to observe everything that is happening. So, Stonebwoy announced his up and running tour of Europe and America. Lots of shows to be done. Now, one of the shows he's doing in the UK, which is supposed to happen in March, around the Independence Day, Charlie, it's sort of like clashing with another event, which is from one of the biggest UK promoter, Ghanaian promoter we know, Alodia Promotions, alongside other promotions. Now, guys, if I'm mentioning the other promotions, it's just because I don't know it offhand, because I don't script my videos. They just come to me like that, right? I take samples of information and then I process everything while I'm recording the video. And so everything I'm saying is just from the dome, directly to you. And so it's no disrespect that I know them and I'm not saying them. For now, Alodia sticks up. So please, pardon me if you're watching this and you are a promoter. I'm sorry. So, Stonebwoy's fan contacted and said, "We are worried. We want to know what is actually going on with this whole thing. Is the show happening?" Stonebwoy's reply was, "In as much as the date has been announced, the show is going to come on in spite of the sabotage. But this is something we are going to talk about another day." Now, it's funny, you know, we live in a music space or industry where you consider everything under one umbrella and say that we are all serving the same customers, right? So YouTube is big. If my videos appeal to Shatawale fans, does it mean I have to have all the Shatta Movement fans to myself and stop them from going otherwhere when other people are doing good content as well? No, I can't stop that. Now, 1,000 more people can talk about Shatawale and they will always have someone to patronize them. It all comes with the perspective and value you give to the people. This same thing applies to the music industry and the teaming fans in any region. And so when you go to a place like London, where you have promoters that are based there, you know, and you are going to compete. Now, it's the same building, right? You have the O2 Arena, the Indigo O2, which carries, I think, a little over 3,000. And then where Stonebwoy is doing, I've not checked, but it's supposed to be one of the smaller venues, but within the same space, right? Now, if you have about 4,000 people come there, some will go for Stonebwoy show and some will go for the Ghana Independence. It's a normal thing. You understand? If Shatawale pulls up right now and says he's organizing a show on the same day, probably the same venue, he's going to fill up his auditorium. The Ghana Independence Squad are going to fill up the auditorium. Stonebwoy will also fill up his auditorium. So, for me, it shouldn't be about sabotage, where you think someone is sabotaging you. Because apparently, you were given an invitation to come. The organizers were looking to book you for that date. But you said you won't. And so, it's not about you trying to paint a picture that you were the first to post your event. We can also argue from the standpoint that they might have communicated their date with you first of all. The date they had in mind, they communicated to you because they have to see your availability and ask if you would be there. And so if you now go round and choose the same date to try to host a show, Don't try to play victim and act as if someone is sabotaging you. Besides, it's a bigger place for everybody to function. You understand? Of course, we have brands that attract more and brands that attract way less. If at this point in time, the Stonebwoy brand feels threatened because Stonebwoy hasn't really had a show. If we say Stonebwoy's brand is that big, the way it's supposed to be internationally, the appeal he has, supposedly has, Stonebwoy should have. I'm sure a lot of people will say Stonebwoy is bigger than Medical, right? But Medical failed that O2 Indigo. Yet Stonebwoy, one of our big artists in Ghana, hasn't even tried it. So perhaps Stonebwoy's activation is maybe all over the place and not targeted. And so when we hear things like this happen, maybe it is time for Team Stonebwoy to sit carefully and analyze their numbers and do some special promotions and activations within that region. Because there are lots of Ghanaians that love Stonebwoy and they love to listen to Stonebwoy and would like to go to Stonebwoy's concert. Because guess what? When all these people travel back home, they come to the Beam Nation concert. So why won't they spend time to come when you are in their region? You are closer to them. The thing is about value and how you position yourself as a brand. So if they think they will get their money's worth, you coming to wherever they are, they will definitely come. You understand? It's not a thing about sabotage. No one is sabotaging anybody anywhere. If there is anyone sabotaging someone right now, it's about not believing in your brand enough. Because you see, this type of talks will make someone who wants to go to the show feel that you've not sold any tickets. And if you've posted your show for months leading up to this, you shouldn't be afraid to sell it. If it's a capacity of maybe 800 or maybe 1,000, brand Stonebwoy should be able to fill it up easily. And so I don't see where the sabotage is coming from. Every now and then we keep talking about sabotage. If you think you are being sidelined, stop the show, communicate properly with your fans, move and select a different date. Now, what even amuses me is that the Stonebwoy brand we know, whenever he's organizing this type of tours and all that kind of stuff, he even puts on the calendar or the schedule festivals where he will be playing too. Now, mind you, these festivals are not solely organized and hosted by him. He's just appearing on them. But he will add those dates as his tour dates, as if it were his own shows. And so, since you know you're doing up and running show or tour, it would have been nice to jam to the Aquaba Independence Day thing on the same day as R2Bs and other, and add it as one of your dates and not to necessarily have a separate date. Perhaps such a platform with you performing to those over 3,000 people would give them that understanding as to what they've been missing all this time. And for them to say, okay, the next time Stonebwoy announces a show, I'm going to go there. Stonebwoy has always had issues selling such spaces, especially in the UK. That is where the name FO800 comes from, where there was an event that he was supposed to sell a capacity of 800. It didn't materialize and the whole show was stopped. You understand? If you follow the likes of Blacko, you follow the likes of Kim Promise, they check their numbers, they activate, and they go for an auditorium and they sell out and they come. The next person to probably try the Indigo O2 with 3,000 will be Kim Promise, because I think his numbers can call and fill the place easily. Black Sheriff can also do that easily. So if you have the opportunity to be there, you can team up, you can collab. I remember vividly when Kwame Yuji and Kiddy teamed up to sell out the same auditorium. sometimes you don't have to do it alone. Sometimes people will have to experience you and what you bring on board in real time for them to change their minds about who they think you are as an artist. And so I don't see sabotage here. I see improvements, things that we ought to improve as a people, things that we ought to improve as an artist, as an industry, and all that kind of stuff. And indeed, if Stonebwoy had his date and communicated it to the organizers ahead of time that, hey, I'm planning a show at so and so place around the same time. And so the date you're giving me, I can't do because plans are far advanced. Then perhaps it would be bad, or it is bad on the part of the organizers for also trying to push the same date where they might not have communicated their intentions to Stonebwoy properly. You see, we are in the same industry. For me, at the end of the day, Stonebwoy hosts a show, Aquaba does a show, Independence Celebration, just to create that awareness in the UK that Ghana, it is Ghana Week. And Ghana is celebrating their independence, and anyone around can get a taste of Ghana. Food, music, people, culture, and all. I'm all for it. It doesn't matter who is selling it. The most important thing is putting Ghana out there. And so it doesn't matter on which team you are on. Let's move away from this person is trying to sabotage me, that person is trying to sabotage me, and focus on Ghana and focus on what we can do to change the situation next time. Stonebwoy, I'm sure you have connections with Alodia and the other promoters because they might have tried to book you one time, one way or the other. These are people you can already talk to and say, hey, I'm planning an event so and so here at this time. Are you by any chance having events to do? Because over here, when these promoters want to also make shows and stuff, they talk to each other. You communicate with each other and say, hey, I'm planning a show around this time. Do you have any show coming up? Which area are you going to? Which area should I focus on? So that there won't be a clash. And where a clash is seemingly possible, people team up and do one show so that they can galvanize everyone from different cities to come and celebrate. Because typically, Ghanaians living abroad don't like to patronize shows. And that is why it is important that you organize yourself well, and then you get your activations right, your promotions right, so that it makes them see value in coming to see you. You understand? It's not as if Ghanaians don't like to come to watch shows. They would definitely come. But you see, it's the newer generations that like to purchase tickets online. The rest, they would like to come to the gate because there's been issues where artists were promised to come to the country, but they never came. And so people would always want to wait to the last minute. And when you come into the country, they will now come to the show. They want to see that the artist is around. And so when I first moved to Germany, I see artists will go to the Afro shops when they come because those are places where people come to barb their hair, they come to buy food and all those kind of stuff. And so when they see you around, they know that, okay, you are there. The message will start spreading. One or two people may take pictures with you and they spread the message across board, and people will know that, oh, the artist is in town. I remember vividly one experience that I had when Familia came to Germany sometime, his first show. You remember the year when he had a fracas with his manager, a fallout with his manager where they stopped working? That year when he came to Germany, I was with Familia. We picked them up from the train station. We went straight. He came, I think, to France first through Nana Poku. Greetings to you if you're watching. And we met them. Promoter was DJ Soa for this show. We went there, and then one of the first places was one of the Afro shops that was promoting the show. We went there directly. He made a small showcase, maybe like a 2 minutes singing, because people loved the song that he had on the streets at the time. You understand? And just that small activation that he did right there brought people to the show because the words will start going around. People film something, people take shots and all that kind of stuff. That is what we are talking about. So in this market, in this region, it's a different ball game. And so it is always important that you work with people who are there, people who understand the system, people who can get you to the right audiences. It doesn't mean that Stonebwoy can never sell an auditorium. Perhaps Stonebwoy is trying to do it alone instead of trying to work with people. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this show is being organized by Livewire. It's an events company that organizes events, and they are very good at it. They should have a clientele where they can just send, just as a click of a button, send emails to people to purchase tickets. And it is something that should be able to sell and sell really well. And so if all this are not used properly, then of course, every single time we'll come back to the same topic of someone is being sabotaged by someone else. Meanwhile, we are just a small country and there's a lot more we can do. We have great talent, we have great musicians, great artistry, but hey, we always come back to the same thing. And so let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Is there really a sabotage? Is someone really sabotaging? Stonebwoy, I know you're a very good artist, you're a great artist. And I know you can sell any auditorium in the UK, but the work needs to be done right. You need to contact the right people and team up with them and get the work done properly. You know, when you move away from the people who have the keys to the Ghanaian public, those that will give you at least 50% of your audience, then you've lost the plot. And these are the things we should start thinking about and looking into and working things properly. You know, some people may not be a fan, but they just would like to come out and enjoy a night of good music and go back home. So you shouldn't think everybody that will come out there to enjoy your song is supposed to be a fan or is a fan. You understand? People fall in love, people come, and when you surprise them, they become a fan. My name will forever remain MORDIN, and here on this channel is always about positivity. If anybody comes to you with a negative vibe, turn around with a smile and say, peace out.